Good morning, children. We are learning the continuation of the topic physical features of India. In the last class, we had learned the theory of plate tectonics, how major types of landforms have been formed on Earth. So today we will be dealing with the main physical features of India. Now, before moving on to the physical features of India, can you tell me what are the after effects of the theory of plate tectonics? So, it is as a result of the theory of plate tectonics that it results in the formation of different land masses, or the present landforms that you see on Earth today is all as a result of this theory of plate tectonics. Then a lot of faulting processes, all these have been occurred on Earth because mainly of this theory of plate tectonics, and it also has resulted in volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, etc. So all such type of physical features that you see on Earth are all the after effects of what? It is the after effect of the theory of plate tectonics. So, the main physical features of India, or you classify India into different physical features mainly because of this theory of plate tectonics. So, as per this theory, we have classified India into 6 major physical divisions or landforms. They are the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains, and the island groups. So, these are the 6 major physical divisions of India. So, we will be dealing with one by one of this main physical features. So, we are moving on to the first one, the Himalayan mountains. You are all familiar with Himalayan mountains. You have learned it in your social science textbook from your lower classes itself, related to the great mountain wall of the north of India, which you call as the Himalayan mountains. Then you have learned it as they are young fold mountains. They are fold mountains you have learned. Then you had learned it usually stretches. It is found in the northern border of India, and it is the longest mountain range in India, which runs west to east direction from river Indus to river Brahmaputra. So, all this you have learned in your smaller classes related to Himalayan mountains. So, today you will be moving on to how the formation related to the ideas related to the formation of the Himalayan mountains, or how Himalayan mountains were being formed. There are 2 main theories which are being propounded related to the formation of the Himalayan mountains. They are geosyncline theory and plate tectonics theory. Geosyncline theory and plate tectonics theory. Plate tectonics theory. So, these are the 2 theories that is being propounded related to the formation of Himalayan mountains. So, one theory is in such a manner that the rivers which were joining, see in the place of the Himalayas which you see now, there once existed a sea which was called as the Tethys Sea. So, the rivers which were joining the Tethys Sea brought a lot of sediments with them, and these sediments decomposed in the sea, which gave rise to the formation of Himalayas, or that means its formation took many years ago. So, this sediments got piled up layer by layer, and it is as a result of this process that Himalayan mountains have been occurred. So, in the place of Himalayas, once there was a sea, it is told that once there was a sea named as the Tethys Sea. Now, another theory is in relation to the theory of plate tectonics, which you have learned earlier. So, in Indian plate, we had learned about 7 plates also. So, it is told that when the Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate, because of high temperature and pressure, Himalayan mountains were formed. So, that is why you call Himalayan mountains as fold mountains. Now, on the basis of the divisions, you are moving on to the divisions of Himalayas. So Himalayas are divided into two on the basis of physiographical changes that occur and on the basis of the latitudes. Sorry, on the basis of longitudes or on the basis of region. So these are the two divisions that you see related to Himalayas. So on the basis of physiographical, there are two types of ranges which you call as the Trans Himalayas and the Great Himalayas. Trans Himalayas and the Great Himalayas. So Trans Himalayas are again divided into three ranges. They are Karakoram Range, Karakoram, Karakoram Range, Ladakh Range, Karakoram Range, Ladakh Range. Ladakh Range, its extension is also called as Kailash, and the other one Saskar. All these are very important. You have to learn it in for your map work. So Trans Himalayas comprises of three mountain ranges. They are the Karakoram Range, Ladakh Range and the Saskar Range. So Karakoram Range is the northernmost range of the Himalayas, and the second highest peak, K2, which you also call as Godwin Austen, is also present here. And here there is a presence of a very big glacier. That means it is the second longest glacier outside the polar region, which you call as the Siachen Glacier. So all these are found in the Karakoram Range, which you find it in the Trans-Himalayan ranges. Now the next is the Ladakh Range. Next one is the Ladakh Range. Ladakh Range, it is the second coldest inhabited town which you see, and Dras, which is situated in the Kargil district of Jammu and Kashmir, is found here. Now it's a cold desert in this region, and you have heard about Leh also. So it is a place which is situated here, and Kailash Range, it's an extension of this Ladakh range, which is and a number of important rivers like Indus, Brahmaputra originate from this region, and the highest peak in this region is Mount Kailash. So I will show you a map here. This is the Kailash Range, Karakoram Range, which you find in Jammu and Kashmir in the northernmost end. Then here it is the Ladakh Range, and its extension goes like this. It is the Kailash Range here. Now the next is Saskar Range. The third one is the Saskar Range, which you also call it as the Tethys Himalayas. And the important river Indus, it flows between the Saskar and the Ladakh ranges here. So we learned about Trans Himalayas, its division you learned. Trans Himalayas divided into three: Karakoram, Ladakh and Saskar ranges. Now you are moving on to the next one, Greater Himalayas, divided into three: Himadri, you call it as Greater Himalayas, Himachal, Lesser Himalayas and the Shivaliks, the Outer Himalayas. So Greater Himalayas divided into three: Himadri, Greater Himalayas, Himachal, Lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks, Outer Himalayas. So Greater Himalayas, which you also call it as Himadri. Why do you call it as Himadri? You call it as Himadri because it is fully covered with ice and snow. And this Himadri or the Greater Himalayas is the loftiest mountains. You have the loftiest mountains here, and Mount Everest, which is one of the highest peak in the world, is found in the Greater Himalayas. Then Kanchenjunga in Sikkim, which is the highest peak in India, is also found in the Greater Himalayas, and Greater Himalayas is found in the northernmost end of India. And see, it is a bow shape, or it is in the shape of a sword. It looks like a sword, and this Greater Himalayas gave rise to a number of youthful rivers because here there is a present, or it is fully covered with ice and snow. So it gave rise to a number of rivers which originate from the Greater Himalayas. Then a number of mountains like Nanga Parbat in Kashmir, Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand are all found in the Greater Himalayas. Now next moving on to the next one, Himachal or the lesser Himalayas. So comparing to this greater Himalayas, they are unchained range which are very much rugged. Rugged means it is full of rocky surfaces. And Himachal, it is found in the, you also call it as the middle Himalayas. It is also called as the middle Himalayas because it lies between the Himadri and the Shivaliks. Then already I told it is a range of unchained mountains. Then a number of hill stations and valleys are also found in these regions, in these Himachal areas. Now the third division is the Shivaliks, which you call as the outer Himalayas. So in this regions you can find a number of dunes like Dehradun, you have heard it. So all these such type of dunes are being found in the outer Himalayas, and it lies between the Himachal, Himachal and the Shivaliks. You can see a number of longitudinal valleys are there, very deep valleys are present here. Now moving towards again these mountain ranges, moving towards the northeast, there is a bend. It bends when it reaches the northernmost end, and it bends towards the south. That means it makes a hairpin bend there. And here also you can, these mountain ranges are known by different names when they reach different states. So it is known as Patkoi Hills in Arunachal Pradesh. When it reaches Nagaland, you call it as Naga Hills. Then when it reaches Manipur, you call it as Manipuri Hills. Then in Mizoram, you call it as Mizo Hills. So all these mountains, small mountains together you call as Purvanchal. So that is called as the Purvanchal range. So here there is also the presence of three important hills, Garo, Kashi and Jaintia, which you see in Meghalaya. So all these mountains and peaks which you have learnt now is very important, and these questions will be coming for you for map work also. So you learned about the physiographical divisions of India. Now you are moving on to the longitudinal divisions or regional divisions of the Himalayas. How Himalayas are being divided on the basis of region. So such divisions occur mainly because of the presence of a number of rivers here. So between the rivers Indus and Sutlej, you call the Himalayas as Kashmir Himalayas. Between Sutlej and Kali, you call it as Kumaun. Then between Kali and Teesta, which is a branch of river Brahmaputra, you call as Nepal Himalayas, and between Teesta and Dihang, you call it as Assam Himalayas. So for exam, you will be asked separately. You will be asked to write the division of Himalayas on the basis of region, or the division of Himalayas on the basis of physiographical divisions. So when read the question carefully, and then only you have to write the answer. So don't commit mistake when you write. Learn it thoroughly and then understand how the difference on the basis of region means you have to write the difference or the name of Himalayas on the basis of the difference in presence of rivers. If you are asked physiographical divisions, you have to write the other Trans-Himalayan and the Greater Himalayas. So this is the way that you have to write the answers. So this topic Himalayas is over. In the next class we will deal with the next division of next physical feature of India. Thank you.